This is a classic work problem from Algebra 1, Algebra 2. And in this problem, there are a couple different ways that you can go about solving it. But I want to give you a technique that I've always used that I think is a very useful way to do it. And that is to use a formula that is a job is equal to the rate times the time. You might recognize the rate times time from the distance formula, and it's the same idea, except that you're talking usually about one job. How long does it take for one thing to get done? In this particular example, it means how long does it take to fill the pool exactly once. Now, it can be adjusted. If you're only filling half the pool, then your job is one half the amount of the job that's getting done. The reason this is a very useful way to do it is because now you can take this idea of filling a tank of water in 8 hours and make it a rate, and that is how much of the job is done per hour. So if you can do the entire job in 8 hours, then each hour you do 1/8 or 1/8 of the job. So the way this problem would work itself out is you take the rate of the first hose, which is 1/8, multiply it times the time that this hose is being turned on, and that's how much of the job is done. Then you add that to the other hose, which is it takes 6 hours for hose 2 to do the job. Now, if the two hoses are being turned on at the same time, so their time is the same, you're going to wait until they actually finish the job, and so you're going to do the same variable for t. And so 1/8 times t plus 1/6 times t. Well, what are you calculating here? We want to calculate when the job is done, and so the amount of job that's being done is exactly equal to 1. And so this equation models the situation. 1/8 times the time plus 1/6 times the time equals 1. So you solve this. There's a couple ways to solve it. I like to solve these by clearing denominators. So you take the least common multiple of 8 and 6, which in this case is 24. 8 times 6 is 48, but they have a 2 in common, so you can divide 48 by 2 to get 24. 24 cancels with the 8 to leave you with 3t. 24 cancels with the 6 to leave you with 4t. And then 24 times 1 is 24. You got to make sure you multiply that 24 by everything. So that gives you 7t equals 24. And so the answer is 24/7. So the amount of time it takes for them to fill the pool together is 24/7 hours, or 3 3/7 hours. If their time was different, for instance, the problem might have been worded, hose 1 is turned on, 2 hours later, hose 2 is turned on. How long does it take them to finish? Well, then you would have just changed the second time to t minus 2, because hose 2 would be on 2 hours less than hose 1. And so there's a lot of ways for you to vary this technique of doing job equals rate times time and solve a variety of different types of